All right. Now we'll shift to our race winner. For today's Advent Health 400 at Kansas Speedway, we've now been joined by Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Toyota. Denny, congratulations on that win today. Take us through those final laps with your battle with Kyle.
Yeah, I knew we were better. I saw him starting to get loose pretty early in the run, but we were able to kind of pick through William there, and then it was just a slow march towards Kyle. And it really started with about 3 laps to go or so. I was able to get beside him a few times, but there was one where we caught a couple lap cars, and I got to the inside of them, and the lap car chose my lane on the bottom, and that really hurt us. I thought that was our best opportunity to pass him. And then coming, so we were 2 to go. I knew the only way I was going to have an attempt to get near him was to get a huge run off of turn 4. So I ran way up high in turn 3, really kind of a Kyle Larson line, way up by the fence, and I just pulled it down and got a huge run. And that run down the front straightaway allowed me to pack air on him getting in the corner and get him up the racetrack so I could get beside him. And so we were both pedaling the throttle on the exit. I was sideways and he was sideways, and then as he started to kind of get ready to clear, I knew it was going to be close whether he was going to clear me, and I'm just trying to grind on his left side, trying to keep the side draft as tight as I could, and it's just a super sensitive part of the car if you get to the left rear, and obviously it hooked him to the right, and we won. The end.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take questions from the media. If you have a question for Denny, raise your hand. We'll work to get a microphone to you. We'll start with Zach and then go to Justin. Back to Bob.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Denny, first of all, congrats. The racing out there, you know, like I was just talking with Chris, obviously really aggressive all day long. What was your perspective from behind the wheel? And do you feel like that level of intensity will continue into the playoffs?
Well, this is a Kansas track thing, right? This is just a perfect racetrack for this race car. The match between the car, the tire, and the racetrack it's just a perfect match. That's why you saw today really nobody running away from the field, as many leaders as we saw side by side. I mean, 2-3 laps in, I saw these guys dicing up 3 wide for the lead. It has just enough fall off where track position is very important, but it's not everything. You can still get position on someone like you saw there on the last lap. So it's just it's a Kansas thing. And so what happens is that the preferred lane's up high, so you have to drive in the corner and pull a slider on someone, and sometimes that slider doesn't work, which is why you saw most of the wrecks, I think, were probably a product of that.
And then have you spoken with Kyle yet? Did he come to Victory Lane at all to see you?
No, I will later, I'm sure.
Okay, our next question will go to Justin, then to Bob, then we'll go to the left side. Go ahead.
Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. Denny, just your reaction to the crowd when you got out of your car on the front stretch there.
I mean, just kind of depends who's there on the reaction you're going to get. But, yeah, I mean, I don't have any reaction to it. It's Kyle's a little more popular than me, and so they're not going to like me winning.
All right, Bob.
Bob Parker's Fox Sports. I have 2. What's like in all your racing history, where does that rank as far as like a battle between, you know, what was 2 guys who were part of the 75 greatest drivers coming to the end of a race?
Yeah, it was exciting. I mean, I wish it wasn't contact, you know, that decided it, but I mean, who knows what happens in turns 3 and 4, right? I would have loved to have that opportunity, but you know, he may have got the better end of it. But it's certainly high on my list. You know, again, if I want to get to a win number, I've got to capitalize on every opportunity that I can. And to me, Kyle is just, you know, exceptional. I think my crew chief called him the greatest driver. Tells you what he thinks about me, but you know, it's we have that kind of respect for Kyle that, you know, he's gonna far exceed my win total, but the time that I'm here, I've got to capitalize on every opportunity.
And have you seen any highlights of the Gregson
No.
Chastain fight, and what would be?
No, I saw Chastain in Victory Lane, but
Okay, so Ross did come. Did Ross come visit you
Yeah.
in Victory Lane?
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
he says, "Congrats, that was a hell of a run. I thought you would never get there." That was it.
All right, we're gonna go to Jeff.
Is there
and
something I
Dalton.
need to talk about tonight?
Yeah, like you haven't seen it yet?
No.
Bob's got a video for you.
I bet you were front and center, weren't you, Bob?
I was pretty close. I led my cameraman to the water.
Oh.
So, do you think there's a chance that Kyle's not going to see it the same way you did, and he's going to think
Oh,
that?
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, no doubt. Roles reverse, right? I'm like, damn it, I'm pissed, for sure. So it's just different. It's racing is so different now than it used to be, and man, I've certainly lost that way for sure. So, but yeah, you definitely have a difference of opinion, especially you're in your cocoon. You see things your way, right? You don't necessarily see all the things. He's leading the race up until the back straightaway. So definitely would respect any opinion he might have.
All right, Dalton, go ahead.
Denny Hamlin at Frusters.com. You were once teammates with him, but now you're actually tied with Tony Stewart for all-time win on the all-time wins list. What does that mean to you, being tied with somebody like that?
Yeah, it's big. I mean, certainly I think that that's why, I want to get at least 11 more, is that it just puts you up there with some of the really, really, really big names of the sport. But again, being matched with Tony is unbelievable. I don't know what to say. It just certainly didn't think I'd ever have won, much less that many.
All right, we're going to go upstairs to the press box.
Christian@GetFans.com. Denny, a couple weeks ago you said you were going to get hot. So how hot can you really get?
You can get white hot. It's official.
All right, we'll come back downstairs.
Steven Stump, FrenchTouch.com. Denny, I have two questions. First of all, going back to, tying Tony Stewart, you're one away from 50. And as I mentioned yesterday, you stand alone with 4 wins at Kansas. No one else has any more. What's it like, kind of like, breaking all these milestones kind of in such a short time?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special place anyway, right? I got my first start here at Kansas back in long time ago. 05, something like that. So it's special for sure. And like he said, it doesn't matter kind of the car or the tire, whatever the aero package that changes. It's just I have a feel at this track that I like to get, and when I get it, it certainly equals win. So really proud of that.
Okay. And the second question I had was, the broadcast announced that this was the most lead changes. I believe it was 37 on a 400-mile, 1.5-mile track. What was your experience from being in the car all day? Did you have fun? Was it like stressful? Was it?
Well, I actually said over the radio on lap 5 or 6 that when we had that early caution, I was like, man, it looks like fun up front. Like I started 8th, but I kind of got to like 5th or 6th pretty quick. And I saw that they were dicing like crazy for the lead. So it's just, again, this is a perfect match of track, car, and tire. This is when you match them all up perfectly, you get the kind of racing that you see today.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, we're going to take 2 final questions here. We have one right here and then up front.
Justin Farmer, KCOU. Oh, Denny, we had all cautions today. We had a ton of heat. Talk about a ton of heat, and just talk about the mental toll it took for all the restarts that were going on as everybody was going for position pretty hard out there.
Well, the challenge it gives us is that, we only have a certain amount of tires, right? And so when you have a car that you think is the best, which I thought ours was the best, I thought that you don't want to lose because of a tire strategy, right? You don't want a late race caution to come and you don't have tires. And next thing you know, some guys that stayed out through all these cautions extra have a set and they blow right by you. You don't like to lose that way, right? So at least I felt like the best cars were towards the front at the end, and it played out naturally, but certainly was frustrating because I knew our car was really good in the long run. So we just couldn't get anything longer than about 10 laps there during that third stage for whatever reason. And certainly was agitating from my standpoint because I needed my car to come in later in a run. But luckily, the race kind of played out perfectly for me towards the end.
All right, come up front for our final question.
Caleb Vissel, SpeedwayDigest.com. Denny, you say this is a perfect car for the perfect track. What is Kansas doing that other mile and a halves aren't doing? I mean, is it just kind of luck of the draw? I mean, just a perfect track, or is it something that other mile and a half tracks can be doing?
So a lot of it has to do with how wide the racetrack is, so you're able to get away from the wake of the car in front of you. Generally, race cars don't like to be in the wake. So the narrower the track, the tougher the racing and the passing is going to be. And if you look at the times, there's about a second and a half of fall off at this track. So, like I said, you can, when your car is good, you can still make up positions by taking a different line than someone else can. So it's just a great match for it. It's got just enough grip to where you're hanging a lot of throttle, so there's a little bit of the drafting going on down the straightaway early in a run, and then it's all about handling and maneuverability of your car late in a run. So it's perfect mix.
All right, Denny, final question. Do you have a special intro song for the podcast when you win?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Jared, we're going to get rowdy.
Congratulations, Denny,
All right,
on that
thanks.
win. Thank you for spending some time with us.